Hello guys, and thank you for tuning in to my next edition of my commentary video from this week's AOR race in Silverstone. So we're sitting in the garage and we see that we have a wet qualifying session but a dry race. So yeah, not really ideal conditions for me. I'm not really a big fan of the wet, but typically my strategy here is to just go out and do laps, get used to the track. I can't just wait in the garage and do 2 laps here and there. So this is my 5th lap, as you can see, and by this time I have pretty much gotten used to the track conditions. But if you look up at the gap indicator on the top right, you'll see that my gap's actually increasing, and it appears that at the end of qualifying the wet tires actually came into their best at this point. So as you can see, I'm down in 11th spot right now, spot that I really hope I don't start the race in, because you know, middle of the pack has not been well to me in any of the leagues that I've done so far this season. So let's hope that I can hoist myself to a higher position here. So we're going down the old front straightaway now, still in the green, doing well, keeping it in the confines of the track. And at this point, I know I'm up on my time. I just kind of want to bring the car back to the finish line and not get any cuts or any slides or anything like that. So there's a couple of spots on this lap that I feel that I could have done a little better, and I could have been a bit more aggressive on the brakes and a bit more fine-tuning with my turn-in and such. So I'm pretty sure I'll be happy with this lap no matter what, because again, the wet is not my forte. So as you can see, I've been knocked down to 13th now. Some purple laps coming in. I know I'm not going to beat those times, but coming across the line here, and that's going to put me up to 4th position. Much better. 4th position is much better. As long as I'm up in the top 10, I'm happy. But there I am in 10th place. And as you can see, I qualified the exact same time as my teammate. And you'll get to see in just a moment here what happens when you qualify the same time as someone else. I start the race upside down. So here are the lights. Luckily, Codemasters reset me right on the track. But off we go in Silverstone. I had an awesome start here, getting by the Ferrari of Vicstar already, and going up to first set of turns here. I want to be somewhat aggressive, but not too aggressive. As you can see, I started on super soft tires. The goal here being try to get to the front as soon as you can, make some passes, make some good moves, and try and get up there and battle with the guys up front and try and get on the softer strategy. But this league right here is very competitive, so it's very difficult to get any advantage anywhere. But I didn't want to risk starting on a harder compound and possibly breaking my wing and needing to pit on lap 1, 2, 3 and having to do another stop afterwards for new tires. So this is the strategy I went with. But as you can see, doing pretty well so far, maintaining the gap to the Force India of Jonas up ahead, and keeping my teammate who's on the medium tires behind me. And yeah, there's some guys forgetting that we're in full fuel trim here, so I get by Jonas there, try to leave room and give myself a nice corner cut warning. And now my next target's Iceman, who seems to be making a move on Crazy Legs up ahead. And yeah, these two are guys that you don't normally see up front, so just more reason for me to try my best to get ahead of these guys and get myself to a higher position, because I know I could beat these guys on track under normal circumstances based on the races I've had this season. Little contact up ahead with the Ferrari and the Williams, but I try to make my move on Iceman here, and I get a little bit of contact there. Luckily didn't result in anything worse, but good move by Iceman to hang it around the outside there. And yeah, a little loose through the first couple of corners here. Try another move down here, more contact by the 2 guys up ahead. So yeah, the way that the race seems to unfold is that there's a nice train of cars that just all seem to be running similar lap times, and not much movement. And you got Jonas ready to make a move from behind. He's on the softer tire. I'm not too worried about it. I leave him the gap on the inside, but I know I'm going to have the inside to Brooklands. Sorry, for Luffield rather. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my position right now. Started 9th up to 7th, 8th place. yeah, if I could somehow squeak into the top 5 before long, I'll be happy. I overfueled the car to give myself a nice bit of a buffer to use some rich mix in the beginning laps of the race. Car didn't really feel all that great to me in the dry. I changed my setup a bunch of times, but you know, I just gotta do what I gotta do. It's all about the driving. So here's my move on Iceman. Pretty easy down the inside, but unfortunately I kind of was too careful and gave him the outside run out of stow. Again, nice, excellent move by him to hang it on the outside like that. I'm trying to feel like I need to be a bit more aggressive, but I can't break a wing because that's an instant ticket to the back of the grid. So yeah, just the battling with Iceman continues here. He's doing really well under braking. Does a little mini spin there, so I try the undercut again, and this time he seems to give me the position, but he has the better run down the straightaway, so good on him again for some close side-by-side racing without any incident. Now we're up to lap 7. My strategy was to go to lap 11 on the super softs, but yeah, right here I kind of lose the rear a little bit. Tires are starting to go on me, and that was the first indication right there. So Jonas gets the advantage on the outside, and my teammate's also behind me again still. And just at this point is where I feel like the super soft tire is the less advantageous tire to have. Yeah, I've just got to try and see if I can switch back on Jonas here. Doesn't seem to be working, and yeah, go on from here. We're up to lap 9 now. Yeah, Crazy Legs, Iceman, Jonas, and I are in a really, really tight battle. My tires are starting to really get worn now, but at the same time, I'm feeling like I'm actually keeping up with these guys, even with the worn tires that I have. So my next thought at this point in the race is, crap, I'm on these softer tires. The guys behind me are all starting on harder compound, so they're probably just going to completely you know, outpace me in the second part of this race. But you see Jonas makes a mistake there, and I feel like I have a nice run down the straightaway, but if you see on the bottom right, there's arrows from my teammate that are coming down the outside, or inside, so we have split him, and he makes the move done, but I get pushed to the outside with nowhere to go. I lose a spot to my teammate, and I don't even get the spot on Jonas that I was looking for. So yeah, at this point, those two guys definitely have the advantageous tire. So we will continue on from here. We've got to make it to lap 11 if we're going to make the super soft strategy work. So here's my pit stop. Extra super careful entering the pit lane. A little too careful actually, but I'm in. And yeah, I got to try and make some hay here on the soft tires and try and see what I can do to get myself back up to the front again. I can see on the mini map down below that I'm probably going to cycle out somewhere in the 12th, 13th position area. Nice quick stop by the McLaren boys here, about 2.8 seconds, and away we go. So you can see the 3 dots on the mini map coming around, so it looks like I'm probably going to come out right behind Mazias in 13th position. And just so happens he also did the fastest lap of the race right there. So out I come, right behind Mazias, and you got Ace Has9 coming around the corner as well. I'm not gonna let him get by though. Kind of overshoot the corner a little bit. If he was on my left side, probably hindered his progress a little bit. But yeah, from here you can see how far back I am from everyone. So I just gotta hope the undercut works here. So lap 13, I've now caught up to Mazias. Again, him being on a harder compound, it was all but confirmed that I would eventually catch him. I wound up getting a purple lap there, which made me feel pretty good. My pace obviously is still pretty good that I'm able to get that. And you can see up above that I've also beat Jonas out of the pit lane. So I've undercut Jonas. He's also on the medium tire, which kind of perplexed me a bit because I always thought the super soft strategy with fresh tires at the start would be the best strategy to go with. But Jonas has opted for a soft medium strategy. We're now caught up to Bankai Bullet, who has yet to pit. He must be having a pretty awful race if we're able to catch up to him through a whole pit stop rotation in this long pit lane, but I didn't want to get stuck behind him, so I made a pretty aggressive move down the inside to make sure that I had him cleared, and can't lose Mazias either. So yeah, my whole goal here was to try and keep up with Mazias and do a little bit of tire saving. You see my tires are in pretty good condition right there. Do a little bit of tire saving, try and keep the drivers behind, but as soon as a super soft runner, which you can see McGrady is a super soft runner up there, as soon as someone were to come and mount a challenge to me, then it was time, it was go time. And again, because I had caught up to Mazias, I felt like that I had either similar or better pace than him. So now the battle's on, and I had to try and get that podium spot. So unfortunately, my driving for the most part in this race was not great with how comfortable I was with the car. So as long as I stay in DRS range, I should be able to get the job done. But as you can see on the mini map below, McGrady is starting to close big time on me, and it's going to make the last 5 laps of this race very interesting. This is the closest that I was to Mazias. The dirty air on this game really makes it difficult to do anything that will constitute as a clean pass, but I don't want to do anything too nasty or too risky to get the position, but I'm right up behind the Ferrari now, hoping to get the spot, but also to keep McGrady behind and keep the guy with the softer tire at bay. Softer tire than me, even. The battle goes on for the next few laps, but over time you'll find out and you'll see that it's going to be difficult for me to keep up with Mazias by also keeping the Mercedes of McGrady behind. Very, very poor Magus Beckus complex that lap on my part, which allows McGrady to have a great run down the left side of me, and he's going to probably go for the move down in the Stowe, but unlike the move with Iceman last time, I made sure that I braked a little deeper into it and didn't give him an opportunity to actually capitalize there, so I keep the position this time. And yeah, Mazias is starting to walk away just a little bit compared to where I had him about a lap and a half ago. And the goal here is to try and keep the driver behind, but I still need to try my best to catch up to Mazias and make sure that I can have a shot, especially if he has a 3-second penalty or something like that. Right now I have no penalties, so I'm sitting in a good spot, I feel. But yeah, I've still got DRS, but unable to do anything about it. Got a little bit of a gap on McGrady there. He probably had a bad sector 1. Allowed me to walk away a little bit, but my break point in that turn was pretty bad. So he's going to be able to come back and come through Luffield. And now it's lap 25. Just got to hold him off for 2 more laps. You can see Mazias has now taken off. I've done a lot of defending on the last few laps. Kind of missed that corner, which allows McGrady to get on my right side, and I just keep a nice tight line on the apex. A little bit of contact right there, but that allows me to get down the straightaway without any challenge. Final lap, same sort of thing. Luffield is my worst corner, which is about 3 corners away from here. Was never able to really get a good run out of there on any of these laps with the setup that I had, so I had to really send it down the inside of that turn on this lap in particular to make sure that McGrady was tempt him with an inside maneuver, but keep the speed and keep going. As you can see, you got 2 proximity arrows, but I think I got a better exit that time, which allowed me to kind of pull a little bit of a gap on him. And again, Mazias is still too far in the distance for me to do anything about him. But look at McGrady's swiping back and forth behind, trying to find that opportunity. And I don't think he's going to get it in sector 2 at least, but he's got one more opportunity for down. It's either club or down at the end of the straightaway here, but I get out of this corner a little bit quicker, make sure I have enough fuel to make it in the final sector, and yeah, I think I've gotten this race. Ash wins the race. I kind of exploits the Stowe corner there for the final time, but it looks like I'm going to hold on to the 4th position and maybe even get 3rd if Mazias has penalty, but turns out he did not have one. So 4th place for me in this Grand Prix. I'll take it. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll do better in Hungary in just a couple weeks, and I'll see you guys on the grid.